Hopefully internet connection stays, unlike last night. Heaters.
Yeah, it's Spectrum all over, man. They've been
Yeah.
doing it to me too.
There's a big thing they're trying to sue them in New York State, too. Or boot them out or something. Right now, advertisements up for Kin movie. I don't know. Stranger Things and Arrival. Producers bring you Kin movie KIN. I don't know. Some alien shit in the future. As soon as they're done wasting some aliens with some big blocky guns here, we'll start. Kin, rated PG-13, theaters August 31st. Morning Domino in the chat room, twitch.tv/Conspiracy Horseman. Looks like you got the alert. It's early. It's hacky birthday to me, and just gonna do your Friday locker room show here today, so we can get it knocked out. Because tomorrow I got to get up and do Impact Attack with Big Ray. So another great week of shows here at hackerhamin.podbean.com. Hacker Hamin on iTunes. You can check out Stevie and I on Russo's Raw and SmackDown review on usually drops Wednesdays on Realm Network. Had a real fun time with Master Shoot Theater the last couple ones, so worth catching up on. Just want to say thanks for all the birthday wishes this morning, and thank you for my partner Stevie Richards getting up to do the show, man. I appreciate it, bro.
Oh, not a problem, man. I appreciate it. Happy birthday, Ben.
Thanks.
And what better present for anybody in the Conspiracy Horsemen than to find out that the Travel Channel has taken the exact idea that we were supposed to bring to the Travel Channel, and given it to a real star.
Yeah, somebody who
is known for their conspiracy theories.
Yeah, man. So an interesting morning already, but
hey, we the lesson to be learned. Just like when we started this thing, we do it ourselves.
Yeah.
We got enough talent, enough skill, enough know-how and equipment to where people are going to see what the Capitol Theater, especially, they're going to be like, this is some good shit.
Yeah, well, I mean, the era of DIY is back, and not just, some bullshit make America great again type thing, man, but there's only one way to have true control and a passion project that it pays off, and you're just getting closer to where you want to be, and that is you have to be all in on it. You have to edit.
Lots of puns there.
Yeah. You have to edit. You have to, do the creative side. You have to make sure shots right, lighting's right, getting kicked out of historical societies and all that kind of stuff. Like, you got to be right there to have all hands in on it. Because if you leave it in somebody else's, it's just, too many cooks in the kitchen. It's not going to turn out right. If you just want to be a celebrity, then that's one thing.
Yeah, dude, we proved it with this. We proved it with everything else. The fitness brand as well. I've been very blessed to, we live in an amazing time where we can monetize just about anything that we like. It's a matter of how much you can make, but people can build their own business brands. They can use a Squarespace site and get it up in 15 minutes. You can start a podcast on Podbean. You can do anything you want to express yourself. There's no excuse to at least give it a shot.
I love it, man. It's a great way to put it. I even, not a lot of people know this about me. It's something I want to get into more. I did a little bit at the school I was at, teaching at. But it's 3D printing too. I love that's like a thing that a kid can grow up with now for real. You know what I mean? Like, I used to be into remote controls and stuff when, like any 12, 13-year-old kid's going to be, right? And, man, if I had that kind of stuff back then, it would have been all over, dude. Like, my science brain probably would have taken over my creative brain a little bit more,
Yeah, I'm looking at the prices on Amazon. I just pulled them up. They used to be like $2,000, and now you can get one for under $200.
Yeah, check out Creality CR10S, I believe. Pretty cool.
CR10S. I'll look that up real quick, see if it comes up. I have Flash Forge, a Comgrow Creality Ender 3.
It'd be Creality. It'd be like blue or yellow. I mean, simple. It's like $500, man, a little more. And that's from the time you unbox it to set up is an hour. There's other ones that I've seen kits that are bigger build spaces, but dude, it takes like 5 days to kind of get it all together, the way it is, which is fine. It's Folger Tech FT5 was what else I was looking at. It's in a bigger case, but that's got a big build space, and I just want to kind of get a starter kit for home, and that's a good one.
Well, how can you monetize it? Like, what would you create? Say,
A
I don't
lot.
know. I mean, it's something I've looked at
So yeah,
forever. No, it's something I've looked at forever, and
yeah,
they even have one here, a Bebo 3D printer, which looks like a huge work area, for 840, but it's got almost 5 stars with a ton of reviews.
yeah.
And FlashForge has one, but if you can monetize it, or if you have better output on the $800-900 one, you'd make your money back in like a week if you have the demand.
Yeah,
You put it
it's
through with
all
a
about. Yeah,
Squarespace.
I've thought a lot of that, man. Even put together, where I am, right in the woods and hunting season, dude. It can make anything from additional lock-on pieces for tree stands. People buy these cheap tree stands with no gun rack or anything in it. Could do those, make that screw on. Could make a bunch of like survivalist kit stuff with a whistle. Hook up with Boy Scouts crew and they can buy X amount at cost or whatever, and or just even having that stuff in the hunting shops. If you package it, market it right, absolutely people are going to buy that for like a little kid hunting, like drink glass, a whistle, thing to put your matches in, all that kind of stuff for when they go out in the woods with their dads for the first time and shit.
And dude, that matches up right with our content.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
survivalist stuff.
Yeah,
I'm going to look into this. We should talk off the air.
Yeah.
Because I've been thinking about it for about a year. Even if it's an iPhone case or something, just starting something to print out on demand for people, and
All
you
that
can
kind of
instantly,
stuff, dude.
yeah, you instantly have the commerce I have on Squarespace, and it's even connected to ShipStation to put the bands right out.
Yeah.
Like it's so easy to get. As long as you got to manage the back end and get the setup.
And to be
You're
honest
done
with
after
you,
that.
like after that, like I've looked a lot into. I've been looking at these for years. You can start your own. I don't have the time or want to, but like your own factory farm, because after that, you can print the pieces from open source of 3D printers, and then you just have to buy the rest and assemble. Just because I want this one, it's a little bit easier instead of putting it together from scratch, to get everything balanced the right way and just get used to it. Then you can start making your own 3D printers and have your own cottage industry. So you've got 4 or 5 set up, and now you're actually doing small time manufacturing.
Yeah, Doug, with Greg Mosier in the chat room just sent a Glowforge 3D laser printer.
Yeah.
I'm going to email it to you.
I see
You
it
said
right
that
there.
they have that one. It looks pretty sweet.
That's cool. Well, it says it's $6. It was $6,000, but yeah, some of them are crazy. The lab I worked in, they had 2 Stratus ones, and one was like 25 grand. The other one was like 80, 90 grand. They're nuts. But and they print with this after poly material that washes away when you put it in a chemical bath, and the parts are so smooth. But if you really had even one of the $2,000 MakerBots dialed in, you really couldn't tell a ton of difference, man. So, it depends on what level you're doing the stuff in and how much speed and time and all that shit.
Yeah.
And that's
Good
3D
stuff.
printing with Ben and Stevie. I know it's a little tech talk, Stevie Richards Tech Talk. You can find that at what's your tech channel?
Oh, it's to say it used to be a tech channel, and then basically turned into the fitness, which has
Right.
become. But I still like reviewing technology, podcasting,
Sure.
microphones, how tos, and you know what? I mean, as long as I find the right piece of hardware, it's just like I said, it's an amazing time to where if anybody wants to create anything, you don't have to wait for China. Like I would have to fly to China to see if I can get 1,000 iPhone cases or accessories or the tree stand hookups. That's the price. The price of the ticket alone will buy 2 of these.
Right.
Not to mention you may not come back. But so China, as Trump would say. So good stuff. So let's talk about what we can control, and that's we have to fucking watch this wrestling every week.
Yeah, that's true, man. There's some funny headlines this morning. We're going to get out for you guys because I've got another business call here in about an hour. So we'll do it up here and have a good time. It was a good time this week on the Horsemen, good time on Russo as well. All right. Backstage news on WWE returning to Saudi Arabia in 2018, reportedly the same week as WWE Women's Evolution. It has been rumored for several months now that WWE would be returning to the nation of Saudi Arabia before the end of 2018, y'all, following the successful debut of the Greatest Royal Rumble this past April. It was announced to fans in attendance at the Greatest Royal Rumble that WWE would be running an event in Riyadh, the country's misspelled capital and largest city, at some point in November. According to the Wrestling Observer, the date originally agreed upon was between the Saudi government was November 2nd. There are a couple of reasons that date is potentially significant. The first is that it would be another Friday morning, early afternoon show in the U.S., just like the Greatest Royal Rumble. The second is that it would come just 5 days after WWE Evolution, the company's first ever all-women's pay-per-view event. The dates could be purely coincidental, or we're just speculating here, and it does say that. And we're speculating here. It's possible WWE knew they would be potentially stepping into another negative media storm with another major show that won't likely involve any female performers, and wanted to get in front of the backlash with an event, with the biggest event that would receive a lot more press. Plus, it gives them an out if people complain about an all-men's show. It's possible that the plans could have changed between April and now, but the latest date anyone has still heard is November 2nd. It was originally talked about as being an annual event, of course, put on by the Saudi Arabian government in what will be a ridiculously lucrative deal for WWE. It's a lot of copy.
Not as much. It wasn't as. It was pretty. It was it was the first one though, so it was somewhat tolerable. You still haven't gotten into quotes from me. But, okay.
The irony.
So here, let's put our conspiracy hats here, but I don't think we need to, because anybody with common sense would actually think that this whole women's evolution pay-per-view was a smokescreen to not get the blowback that they got for the girls not being on.
Right.
So they literally said, we're going to do a pay-per-view, which isn't, you just throw it on the network. It doesn't cost them anything extra.
Yeah.
To keep them off the show, but not look like they're unbooked.
Right.
Do you agree?
Right. No, like to keep them unbooked, but to shine them locally, and then while they sneak over here, doesn't it feel like a smokescreen now?
Absolutely. And I would have never guessed that, but now you can't have them over there. You can't have them over there, and that's fine. And we still don't have clarification whether those girls got paid for the last one. Did they get payoffs?
I don't know. I don't know about clarification on that, because that probably would have leaked, right? But in the chat room, Gaming Throwbacks Poppy says, it's all about the money. That's a Vince line I haven't used, I don't think yet, at Master Shoot Theater. But yeah, it is all about the money, man. That's what it is. And we'll see who puts it out there on a high level, because now what they're doing with the other show, it's going to lead to more negative media, just because how media survives, I guess, right? But we'll see how they're going to spin it. I think they'll no-sell it once again at the end of the day. What do you think they're going to do?
I don't think the stock hurt. Nothing happened. The stock went up. They don't care any more about women than the company does. They just care about the money. They care about the stock price. I still think that this is all a setup for the true worldwide brand to get it sold. It's never going to be higher than it is. If it breaks $100 on the stock, which is you're going into fucking Apple territory when they were on the rise. And this company is nowhere near as profitable outside of the TV fees and the Saudi Arabia, and of course the $1 trillion from Australia. They're nowhere near as profitable. This is hey, I'm going to quote Cornette, for everybody's Cornette was right when he initially said that this is a stock scam. Stocks in themselves, in a lot of ways, it's just guessing. That's all it really is. And I'll say this one thing, for people to think, when a company's stock goes down, it's the most ridiculous thing ever, because we thought we projected 200 million, so we only made 150 million. So therefore we lost 50 million. Well, let me fucking lose that money. Yeah. I'd still be. This is the kind of shit that this is why the bubble will burst, because you're still a profitable company, but you're so greedy, and the market is so greedy that if you don't make a ton, then you lost money. And that's truly the sickness of the whole financial system. Damn, we're one we went from selling 3D printers to fucking end of the world. Sorry.
No, it was a phenomenal run there. I agree completely, man. We'll see which way, the cookie crumbles on this one. Will it be, a really bad media storm, or just kind of going to be, all right, we did this, we did that, and let's just keep moving. Everybody just don't worry about your own morality. Let's just keep on going.
Question in the chat room: do they broadcast in the Middle East, and do they censor out any segment involving women? I know they censor the women. They were hot when that was in the one highlight thing.
Yeah, when
but
somebody
do they
snuck
actually have
in
TV programming over there.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. Hey, it'll be We'll see how hardcore they do censor it, because they did sneak in that Divas or I don't know, it was a video game promo or whatever it was, and the chicks were in there, in their gear, and that
wasn't it the music video for the pay-per-view?
Yeah,
I think
it was the music video. You're right, and that was more heat in that real fallout of just seeing Becky Lynch and Charlotte and whatever, and Asuka in there showing some thigh and some midriff, like. That's it. Like, for them, that was like, how dare you, do it? But I think that was also, there are no mistakes. Either somebody in production did that as an FU to test them, like, you won't behead me, fuck that. And, as far as if they weren't going to be there, that was a little representation. You know what I mean? The taste of American culture, that was the shakeup. It's an interesting black op if it was. Maybe it was even a CIA piece, right? You're going to play the video while you were there. Like, they had to have somebody embedded with them, right?
Jesus Christ. They're just getting, WWE is just like, Vince for everything he used to be is now just like an employee to all these different, things that I just can't ever imagine him ever bowing down creatively to anybody else. Like Vince always says it. And that's all he's doing now.
Yeah.
Like, being rolled, man, you're getting paid a ton of money. So what the fuck do we know?
Right. Right. John Cena to star in and produce new prank show with a twist. Cena comments. According to Entertainment Weekly, John Cena will be teaming up with hypnotist Chris Jones for the new show Double Take, a prank series in which celebrities prank their biggest fans with a twist. Each episode will feature Jones taking a fan to meet his or her favorite celebrity. However, the catch is that Jones will first hypnotize the fan so they have no recollection of meeting the celebrity after it's over. What? John Cena will...
Oh, this is going to... 10 season syndication, everything's going to... it's a total success.
Oh, shit. John Cena will appear in and produce the 6-episode first season, which will also feature U.S. Olympic figure skater Adam Rippon, Jackass star Steve-O, Real Housewives Nene Leakes, comedian Gabrielle Iglesias, and actress Pam Anderson.
Did you say he's producing it too?
Yeah, of course he's getting a producer credit, dude.
Okay.
Dude, Rock's got his own production company. I got to get mine started too. That's what he's saying.
I know, but this is not Fast and the Furious stuff.
It doesn't mean he's doing shit. He's just got his production.
He did. I can't imagine. There's not too much that needs to be done. It's pretty much done already. Yeah. Literally.
Each episode will range from 12 to 15 minutes.
The only episode will...
The only episode will range from 12 to 15 minutes long, during which time fan and celebrity, without sporting a single disguise, will interact in a range of everyday circumstances, from cake decorating to restaurant chats, without ever realizing who they are spending the day with. Below is a comment from Cena along with a sneak peek clip of the seasons. At John Cena says, "If you thought you couldn't see me in a WWE ring, get ready to do a hashtag double take, premiering on Facebook Watch September 5th. And I'm not going to play the clip.
And I hope he's not paying $10,000 a month for that publicist who tweeted that out.
Oh, man. What do you think about double take?
It's going to be, well, 12 to 15 minutes means you're going to get 4 episodes, because that's 1 hour of a standard TV show. It isn't. People are so desensitized, and America's Funniest Videos isn't even running reruns from what I see anymore. And that was the most homogenized, harmless, but yet kind of fun to watch type thing. And people don't want to see that anymore.
You mean you don't
People
want
see,
you don't want to
people
see
wa-
a fan hypnotized and hang out with Nene Leaks?
I
That's not,
smelled the work in the first line, the hypnotist
yeah,
deal.
yeah.
Uh, I don't know. I think I'm along with you. I mean, people want to see like people get executed during halftime now. They don't want to see
Yeah,
pranks.
yeah.
We
It's
live
a
in a
prank
site. We live.
show with a
Yeah.
twist. Oh,
Yeah.
so bad.
Uh,
In the chat room, Sean the Cop says, "Ben, I'll be on that show as my fan." You don't need to get hypnotized. You can just find me at an indie show.
we can all hunt for alien gold together.
Yeah.
That'll be we can be hypnotized to believe that it's actually going to be a good
Yeah,
episode.
it's gonna be excellent. That was fucking phenomenal copy right there. Told you, man. There's some good headlines today. Backstage news on Brock Lesnar's WWE future following SummerSlam, pay-per-view booking, and rumor killer on Raw plans. Following his loss to Roman Reigns at SummerSlam Sunday night, former Universal Champion Brock Lesnar is finished with his current WWE obligations. According to PWI Insider, while the door is always open for Lesnar to return to WWE, the feeling within the company is that he'll be taking some time off from WWE so he can focus on his upcoming UFC fight against Cormier. Once Lesnar's fight against Cormier is in the books, the belief is WWF would love to have Lesnar back. Oh, they're going to pay. I think it's a bad idea to not lock him in right now, but we'll come to it. As for Lesnar's booking of SummerSlam, the idea was behind having Braun Strowman at ringside was to take the focus off Lesnar and Reigns and the potential for the crowd to heavily boo the match. Smart move, I agree. Speculated that PW Insider speculated that Hamin might have something to do with the booking of the match, as WWE, was hoping to avoid what happened to Brock Lesnar when he faced Bill Goldberg back in 2004. In related news, there was a rumor floating around claiming Lesnar was written into the Raw script this week, but then later removed. However, that rumor is untrue, as WWE never had plans to use Lesnar on the show, despite the company at the Barclays Center advertising the Beast to appear. As noted, Lesnar flew home immediately after SummerSlam on Sunday. Now, the rumor floating around on the internet claims that Triple H was the Super Showdown promo was what replaced Lesnar's scheduled appearance with a Heyman promo segment. However, that is not the case, and the Triple H promo was the original plan in WWE. Supposedly, I don't think, I know Mike Johnson was there as a New York guy, and he's got good sources, but that to me sounds like flushing the opposite story down the pipe so it gets out that way,
Will we get that Taker Hunter match? That's going to be amazing.
You're gonna get it. You're gonna like it.
Yeah. Yeah, he's just going to end up making more money. I mean, he's not stupid. He doesn't need the money. I don't know how much he's getting for the DC fight. That'll definitely be a sellout. Definitely be a pay-per-view buy. What's he average? $5 to $8 million.
I thought it was like
fight?
3.5 million.
Yeah, but then he has he does the Jimmy Johns and the Jack Lane.
Yeah.
He got all the sponsors, which
Right.
he was one of the first guys to carry that over too in this day and age.
Right.
They get once they gave him anything he wanted. I mean, why wouldn't he? And for people that think, oh, he doesn't love the business, this and that and the other thing, you know what? Why don't you see what they do to a kid like Zack Ryder or Kurt Hawkins and these guys when they can take advantage and fuck you over and not make money, and you have to make it seem like or act like they're doing good by you? Let Brock break them over the fucking calls. Let him take all the money. Don't keep announcing all these seriously billion-dollar deals that you're doing and then tell Brock you don't have money. Come on. Everybody, if there's ever a time, and I've never outwardly said this, if there's ever a time to unionize before the Saudi Arabia show, before we talked about it, actually, I'm sorry, right before WrestleMania, we're not going out there. You're gonna start fucking. What are you gonna do? To have all the NXT guys work WrestleMania, like on the dime, right there? Yeah. Maybe they would.
But they might do it, but there's just too much ego still involved with it for anybody to really unionize and take charge. I don't see it,
I mean, Vince, it used to be, what did they think? It was like a couple hundred, maybe 300 million if they even paid out all the retro stuff that they would owe if they were determined that these guys were employees back to the 80s. Vince can do that. I mean, he spent $110 million in stock that he cashed in on the XFL.
Yeah, I
You
had
could,
popped yesterday. Sorry, like
yeah.
a guy at work had an XFL jersey on, and I was just thinking, dude. I started talking to him, and it was a retro throwback, like original one. And I was just like, dude, that guy's gonna lose $100+ million on this fucking deal. Like, so if he can lose that and just use that as play money, he could definitely do it the other way too. Like you're saying, as a payout to anybody who's still alive who worked for him, mania wise or whatever.
Well, I mean, but you have to change the culture because they're more employees than ever. Even when I was there, they don't have to, but as long as these guys and girls are enough of marks, which I was one at 1.2, that there's always gonna be somebody to replace them.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the NXT kids. I watched that takeover, and it's great. It's great cardio, watching stuff because of how they move and the action.
Yeah.
I watched that in New Japan, but when I think about the actual matches and how much they're taking, all I keep thinking about is I don't even think they're paid for this show. I mean, they got their guarantees.
Right. They're getting their $750 a week, whatever. They maybe getting small cut of merch if you sell.
So what? What then? I mean, you're pretty much injured and fucked up before you even debut. With the same just entrance and like just fucking I don't know monotone type entrances, and they expect you to be over, and you already got 2 strikes against you.
Right.
And I think Ciampa, Gargano, or even Velveteen Dream or other guys, the Velveteen Dream is probably the smartest one because he can translate over. And he can still do very impressive stuff, but he doesn't have to kill himself. He picks his spots.
I watched all those matches before, and then they came out and worked old school. I was just like, look at how easy this shit is comparatively to, dude, that opening match and whatever it was with the guys from the Mustache Crew, Trent Seven and the other
Ring of Honor guys,
British guys. Dude, opening match, they gave away the whole show, and then these guys they can come out there and work, like 90 whatever style, and it looks so good still compared to having to do all this shit and like eat up all the falsies. It's just like, okay, they thought they were at WrestleMania. Apparently they were having a WrestleMania match at that point. They said fuck it. WWE officially confirms Eric Rowan's injury and subsequent surgery. As noted, former SmackDown Tag Team Champ Eric Rowan suffered a bicep injury during his match against the New Day at SummerSlam, and WWE.com has confirmed the injury along with Rowan needing surgery to repair the injury. They've issued the following statement. Rowan of the Bludgeon Brothers has suffered a torn right bicep. WWE.com has learned. The former SmackDown Tag Team Champion is currently scheduled to undergo surgery to repair this injury this week. Stick with WWE.com for the news on Rowan's status as it becomes available. As a result of Rowan injury, Rowan and his tag team partner Luke Harper lost the tag titles this week to the New Day on SmackDown. So, obviously doing biz on there, and they just got a bunch of tweets with video clips broken down. Yeah, man, that sucks. Coming off of SummerSlam or injuring during SummerSlam. It might have been injured before this, though. People don't know how long you might have been favoring it, but, if it is a tear and it happened during that match. Somebody said they could point out where it was, but I'm not sure.
It sucks for him, especially because he got hurt. He's going to lose out on money, lose out on that. It's hard to get that pushback, when you come back from that. But look at Luke Harper. The fallout of being in a tag team is whatever happens to your partner.
Yep.
You're going to suffer or you're going to benefit from it. I hope they continue. Maybe this is the time that they finally at least test out the singles push in this gimmick and see if it works.
Well, here's something else. I mean, it's related news, and we'll try and tie this together. I clicked on the first one. Mick Foley to narrate new Viceland Wrestling series. According to Insider, Hall of Famer Mick Foley will be narrating a new pro wrestling documentary series titled The Dark Side of the Ring, being produced by Viceland. The series will premiere this fall and will cover controversial moments of pro wrestling, including the death of Bruiser Brody. There's my segue. Is this the time that Brody Lee, Luke Harper, whatever you want to call him, that he gets to grab the brass ring that is there ahead of him, even just short way ahead. If Bruiser Brody is in, the underground circle with this Vice thing, which will get millions of views, Brody Lee is the second coming of that. Or, Luke Harper is the second coming of Bruiser Brody. So will he get that chance and get that opportunity now that he's singles?
Maybe. I mean, what do you think? Do you think they're just going to leave him off TV and say, well, when he comes back, we'll pick you guys back up? Yeah. That's the more realistic thing that'll happen. You hope that they say, this is finally his time to do that and stand out. Give the guy an opportunity. He should have been Bruiser Brody long before.
Right.
I mean, the wide thing was a good way to introduce him. That's what I think they might do too, because Matt Hardy's out.
Put Bray with him.
Or done. Yeah, or done. Is he done? I mean, I saw him in an agent.
Nobody really knows. There's been like 3 or 4 days of agenting, and like him with these cryptic tweets. This is a pivotal day with, all caps. So I don't know, man. It's kind of like, and even Rebby did an interview and said that this is a time of transition for them. So we'll see.
Oh, man, I would not. I'm sorry. Being an agent on the road and having to deal with everything without even getting in the ring to at least get an outlet. Oh, man, what a tough job.
Yeah. But for him to go.
Do you still want it?
It's a good question. Another year older. I'll leave it at that, right?
Come on, pal. Do that impression. Hey,
God
do it.
All right, God damn it. Now, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go out there. You're going to give a superplex, yeah. And then you're going to get him right up in a Falcon's Arrow, pal, and slam him right down. Cover, 1-2, kick out. And you're going to bury all your own shit, pal.
I bet you he doesn't. He will. I would never think there'd be in 1,000 years Vince McMahon saying the move Falcon Arrow. This is the what a maneuver guy.
Yeah.
But it is. Vince with the what a maneuver is a fucking hell of a lot better of a commentator. That's what Vince should go back.
What a maneuver, yeah.
Vince should go back. Vince is better than anybody on there. Him and Lawler would be amazing to just bring it all the way back full circle.
Did you watch that Moro and Owl clip I put on my wall?
Yes, and someone buried it saying he's overrated.
Yeah, and then I that dude got buried. He played himself. You diss Dre, you dish yourself.
Morrow's the best guy they have right now.
Yeah.
But he's smart enough to understand the culture, and he's got a good little spot where he's left alone at NXT. So don't think Morrow has any aspirations to go up and deal with that bullshit.
No.
And a guy suffers from depression and anxiety. He doesn't need to have that chaos put into his life. Plus, he can call MMA, he can call boxing. The guy's like the commentator version of Brock. He is. He can write his own ticket. He can get fired tomorrow and literally the same day take a flight somewhere and commentate a pay-per-view.
Right.
It doesn't matter.
I'd like, even though the dude got flamed on that fucking thread where he was trying to diss him, like, there is one thing about, not that he's trying to get himself over, because I don't think so, because those are just clips that they're putting together, popping. You can tell that's like, look at this, how into this guy is. We got to put this together. I think it's great that they do that. But can he transition into a performer's role in a manager situation? Could he be a mouthpiece for somebody and really help get somebody over now?
No, I think you're losing. You're going to lose good long-term business as a storyteller. And Jim Ross tried to do that with Fake Diesel and Fake Razor.
That's true.
And that, and plus I look at quality of life. You're going to have to put him on the road, and he'll be tested, and he'll be put in situations. This way he's commentating. I mean, that's what I'm saying, that at his point where he's at, he understands that stability where he's at, and what he has, and being around good people. And
he's got a sweet spot.
I think the crew down in NXT hasn't been polluted with the business of being up on the main roster.
I don't know, man. I think they practice.
Do you still want it?
Well, dude, I was at OVW, man. Believe me, that's part of your training is to practice that shit. That shit goes on in a smaller way. That's why OVW really trains you for sure. You get TV time and you get the practice. But, dude, It's everything you just exclaimed, the dark side. They kind of allows you to navigate those waters a little easier, you know. Some guys, imagine guys off the indies who've never been in a system like that, a farm system, who are walking into that kind of blind, you know. Just the indie version of politics is a fucking rib. So
I did, dude. It took me years to adjust, and then they changed all the rules.
Yeah.
They could literally have $1 trillion deal if they just wanted to do business.
Right. Yeah,
they don't, because Vince is rich, and rich people want to be entertained. They don't want to make money. They want to be entertained. And there's a certain power. It's like why all these people in the elite, we hear, fucking kids, drinking kids' blood, eyes wide shut shit.
Yep.
They just want to pop themselves. They don't want to fucking forward any business. They're well past that.
Well, unfortunately, the Orgy Dome at Burning Man was canceled this year. They didn't have it, so.
Oh, really? No, yeah. John Podesta?
No, he wasn't. Latest news on Kurt Angle's WWE status, future advertised dates, and potential for his in-ring return. What the? In case you missed it, Kurt Angle was written off TV on Monday night by Stephanie McMahon, who, in story, relieved the general manager of his duties. Constable Baron Corbin has been announced as his temporary replacement and will assume the role of acting GM for the foreseeable future. Well, it's a spot well earned. As previously reported, the Hall of Famer is taking time away from TV in order to focus his attention on training to make his in-ring return. This is not the same situation as when Mick Foley was replaced as Raw GM, removed from TV, and basically hasn't been seen since. When Angle returns as an authority figure or a member of the roster for his final run remains to be seen, but it's expected that he will be back before the end of 2018. Of course, he's going to Saudi Arabia. Angle's last match outside the Greatest Royal Rumble was a tag bout with Rousey against Triple H and Steph at WrestleMania. He is currently being advertised for the Raw at Staples Center in Los Angeles on November 19th, but has been removed from all their dates on WWE.com. Kurt Angle, in-ring return.
Do you think they're going to get a USA chant started at the Saudi Arabia show?
That'd be fucking hilarious. That would make some even if they did the old WCW bit where they piped the chant through
the Goldberg chants like they used to. Yeah. Well, what if they I don't even think the Saudi Arabians are allowed to chant "You suck."
Probably not. They're like Angle. They'll do the old thing.
Just throwing everybody. This guy could have been so over as GM. He could have did what Daniel Bryan was doing as GM. Now I think he's a little smarter to get away from that, because every week they just buried him. At least he can have good matches. But the problem with Kurt is Kurt always tries to do too much, and with the current product and the way they're working, he'll do every bit of the Falcon Arrow, superplex, and take stuff on the floor and on the edge of the apron. Kurt will work up to their level rather than them, I don't say working down to Kurt's level.
Taking care of him.
Working up to his quality of entertainment.
Right.
His character, all this stuff, because I'll tell you what, they can do all the fucking flippy spots they want, the bumps, the buckle bombs, no sell into a fucking Superman punch, but you can have the entire roster in the ring. Line them up or put them in the ring at the same time. I'll take Kurt in a real fight. I'll take Kurt
without
every
a doubt.
Time. I'll take Kurt against Brock. Because Kurt has some kind of killer instinct that those Olympic trained wrestlers are not right. Now, Brock's got more mixed martial art, but I'm talking about strictly wrestling for wrestling. I would take Kurt over Brock.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to go with you on that one, to be honest with you. The tattoo made him lose points. Let's see.
What tattoo?
The big one on his fucking chest, that big knife. It always fucking pops when I see it.
That's to hide the scar. Everybody makes fun of that, but that's that different. I can't imagine what that scar looks like if they have that big ass knife.
I think he would look awesome with a scar. It would look way more hardcore. Chris Jericho reveals the interesting reaction Vince McMahon had when he found out about All In. Oh, boy. Former WWE star and current IWGP Intercontinental Champion Chris Jericho had the Young Bucks and Cody Rhodes on his most recent episode of Talk is Jericho podcast. During the show, the group discussed the All In, All Bin event taking place September 1st. Chris Jericho revealed during the podcast, which was recorded back in June of this year, that he called Vince McMahon on the phone and told him All In was taking place in September in Chicago. Jericho then revealed that when he informed Vince that the show was taking place on September 1st, Vince replied by saying the Bucks and Cody Rhodes should have called and talked to him about it first because, according to Vince, September is the worst time to promote a wrestling show.
Unless you're doing it in Saudi Arabia and you're involving women.
Yeah.
Or is that October?
It's October, yeah. You can listen to the entire podcast here.
That's the worst. If they did it in October, that would be the worst month. Whatever month they did it in, that would be the worst month.
They sold out in an hour, so there is no off month for it, right? He didn't mention that part, maybe.
Well, if September's the worst month to promote a wrestling show, then that'd be the perfect time for an off season, wouldn't you think?
It'd be nice. I don't think it's the worst time. I know it's
Chicago. That never draws.
Yeah.
I never draw. We just sell out every single time. We run the same pay-per-view every year there.
Yeah.
Barclays Center. What a dump. We can't even draw anything there for 4 days in a row.
Yeah, dude. So
I guess April's the worst month now too, when they're doing the Garden. That's a bad month to do wrestling, even though we're doing WrestleMania.
Yeah. I just like, it sounds like such a, they should have called me. I would have told them it's the worst time to run. Like how dare, it's just
all right. Who is this guy, by the way? Who the fuck is this guy? Do you think now if you showed a picture of the Young Bucks to Vince and say, hey, these guys, like 10 years ago, 5 years ago, and said, hey, these two guys are going to give you a call and ask about running the show, he'd be like, what are they, fucking 12? Like these are workers? Do you think he would even, like, this says that they have his number and they can call him now. It's kind of fucking funny.
Yeah, I don't know if they would. That's a funny thing to trickle down news-wise even. But, Jericho, I'm sure if he's saying it out in public, he wasn't making it up. WWE star Sasha Banks appeared on the most recent episode of Open Late with host Peter Rosenberg. And during the interview, Banks discussed her current role in WWE, her thoughts on Alexa Bliss, facing Rousey, and more. When Rosenberg asked Banks if there's any real-life heat between she and Alexa Bliss, Banks responded by saying, I think I'm really good at what I do. When Rosenberg followed up by asking Banks if she would like to do more with Alexa Bliss on TV, Banks bluntly replied, not really. But then added, I think if they want to have me versus Alexa, they can do that because I can do my job very well. Rosenberg also asked Banks if she feels ready to face Ronda in a match. Banks offered the following response. I'm more than happy to have a match with her, Banks said, at the possibility of getting in the ring with Rousey. I think she's awesome. I think we can make match together and don't have anything bad to say about her. She fucking tune you up in a second. Real life heat between Alexa Bliss and the boss, Sasha Banks. I don't know. Maybe could easily be working it just so it seems like a little more of a shoot feud.
Who cares? Like these passive aggressive answers and this and then turning around. Well, that was a shot at the first question too, when she says I have absolutely no problem with her, saying that I have a problem with the other one.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, he should have asked her about the fans at baggage claim. That would have been a better question.
Yeah, that'd have been good. Well, it's Rosenberg on a WWE late night show type thing.
But you know what I mean? Like, should have asked, like try to clear the air or at least put her in a better light. But probably that's why, because the answer wouldn't have been a good answer.
Interesting. I do like the fact that they're using their platform to do different style knockoff shows now. Wonder whose idea. Jerry Lawler on the backstage reception he received at WWE SummerSlam. Hall of Famer Jerry Lawler recently spoke with Sports Illustrated's Extra Mustard, and during the interview, Lawler had the following to say on his return to the WWE at SummerSlam in the wake of his son Brian Christopher's passing. The people in this business and the fans themselves have really stepped up. I've heard from so many people out there, said Lawler. I was just at SummerSlam and Stephanie McMahon hugged me and started crying. Mark Henry and R-Truth, who was really close with Brian, were crying. It meant so much to me to know how much he was thought of. I got a phone call from The Rock. He and Brian started out together. Brian was so proud of his friendship with The Rock, and that call meant a lot. I feel bad for everyone who comes up to me because they're hurting too. And there's nothing we can do to bring Brian back, but I do really appreciate everyone's thoughts and their concern during this time. I'm glad, that he could kind of get out of what I'm sure has been a darker spot and get back to work, maybe get his mind off things a little bit. That always helps.
Is there any update? Because I remember he was saying some stuff about that stuff didn't add up.
No, I'm to be honest with you, I haven't followed it. There wasn't anything in here about it.
Well, you remember you said they were looking into it and stuff wasn't exactly what it seemed to be.
Right. Yeah, we can easily go down. Right now we're skimming the surface really lightly. I feel like there's so many like what ifs and things I don't want to stooge off that could be related to it. You know what I mean?
That would be news to me too. We'll talk about it off air.
Yeah. I just don't think it's classy to do that right here.
Well,
we got to get in the car, close the door on that one, and head down the road, and then we can fucking talk.
Well, the thing is too, this speaks to us about the conspiracy horsemen and the way we approach topics like that. We're not going to do the opposite of the scientific method and say this is the conclusion we heard. Now let's try to prove it.
Right.
It's not gonna, especially when there's a life involved and a guy who struggled for so long with his demons, and it's a hard thing to deal with. And no parent should ever have to bury their kid. I know Lawler said that, and anybody who's ever lost a kid, that is not the natural order of the way things should go.
No.
So you can't imagine what he's thinking right now.
Yeah, and it's bad, and I'm just total speculation here. If there was foul play and the right people were involved, and they were trying to uncover that, they could easily shut that down with threats alone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay. Y'all, it's your Friday Veteran Locker Room. You infidels are lucky to be here.
We're here to cheer you up.
Ms. and Mrs. viewership increases. Let's see here. According to Showbuzz Daily, this week's of Ms. and Mrs., which was the episode before next week's season finale, averaged 1.235 million viewers, which is up from last week's 1.162 million viewership average. So Miz and Maurice doing good, even though he got his ass kicked by Brie Bella. I don't know why they fucking allowed that to happen. But on the upswing, you're only going to make Miz more important, bigger of a property, I guess. You see an episode yet of Ms. and Mrs.?
No, but good for him. And I just don't understand why they're having him be. He's a great heel, but they have him as a heel on TV, and then after the show, you see what a good guy he is.
Yeah. I mean, that's the exposing of the gimmick, I guess. He does let some things cross over, and he can turn it up in wrestling. I don't know. We'll see. I think he'll probably get 2 or 3 more seasons out of it if his ratings are going up. I don't think they're going to put the kibosh to it.
I think their show is probably, from what I've seen, is more authentic. It couldn't be less authentic than Bella's or Diva's show. But you put yourself in certain situations. But I think their interactions are real. I don't know. Total Divas, it's like, did these fucking people, are they really married or whatever? Or did they just meet? You see what I mean? Like everything is so contrived to so much of a. I mean, we stooged it off before, man. Like, I'm looking at the hotels and the cars they're driving and the lifestyle they're living on the level of the card they're at, and I'm like, no fucking way.
You think it's all rap videos with fake money and fake jewels and rented cars and shit?
Yeah, I think they walk into the lobby of like the DoubleTree or the Sheraton, and then they shoot them making pretend they're checking in, and then they checking down at the fucking Motel 6 or the Red Roof. That's where they stay.
Superstars. And, you can get $15 salads anywhere, any time of night. WWE star Becky Lynch recently conducted an in-character interview with Gorilla Position after turning heel at SummerSlam, and below is what Lynch had to say on her match and subsequent actions at the pay-per-view this past Sunday. I don't understand what people are saying to me when they say, well done, because I went in there with the intention of winning the title, and I currently do not have the title. I've been burning a hole through the women's division on SmackDown Live for the past few months, and then Charlotte shows up. She gets handed a title opportunity, and as opportunistic as ever, when I had that match won, she snuck in, stole the victory from me, and one more time she gets handed the gold, and I'm left on the sidelines. Later in the interview, Lynch questioned on why she had been overlooked in WWE Women's Division and wondered if it had to do with her appearance. Is it because I'm not blonde enough? Is it that? Is it because I don't have enough enhancements? Is it that? I'm treated like the redheaded stepchild of an entire women's division. Well, you are a redheaded stepchild, and that's a good pun for, doing something in character. But yeah, the title of this was Becky Lynch takes shot at enhanced WWE women amidst controversial body remarks. So they're obviously talking about, Meltzer and what's her name from the Iconics. And then, we're doing more, not body shaming, but saying things because she didn't get breast implants. And the Iconics did right before they got called up. Charlotte just got hers redone. Like, oh, is it... we went away from this. I mean, I came up during, Let's Build a Diva division where they not made girls, but we'll sign you, but you got to get breast implants and shit done before that. I saw 4 different girls I know go get gimmicks, and 2 of them got signed. And, and since then, I think both have had them removed, to be honest with you. And it's just, it was like a what the fuck time of you got to do this and look this certain way. And then the women's revolution comes along where it's about wrestling, supposedly. And now here we are kind of back on the sly of hey, go get your tits done.
I wonder what the conversation. I never heard of any. Did they actually ever come out and just tell the girls to do that? You have a better. You've interacted with more of them than I have.
Yes, kind of. It is it didn't have to be said, but then other times, when, some girls I know would contact the office and be like, what do I need to do? Oh, we'd like to see, different look on you. It's, I guess is how you could put it. I think that's been said. So without saying, go get your tits done, it's put on the line. And it's not even the fact that, you got to have big, huge, fake titties, but it's will you fucking jump through this fiery hoop if we tell you to? That's that test, right? How far will you go? We're testing you here.
That's we really like for you to put on 40 pounds of muscle in 3 months.
Yeah.
Could you do that? Because but I mean, that's the backward way of just saying, they're not telling you how to do it.
Yeah.
But it'd be great if you could do it.
It would be, yeah, but I can't tell you what to do. In the chat room here at twitch.tv/conspiracy horseman, Bang Biscuit says, would you want implants that big when you're a wrestler anyway? You would think that would affect your mobility or something. Yeah, I imagine it would, and hurt if you're taking bumps on your back too. And you're carrying some extra, frontage. It's going to hurt that much worse. I imagine your back take longer to heal. A lot of girls who have natural big gimmicks get breast reduction just from it hurting their back. So you're adding that, on there as well.
Yeah, but I'm sure they're sitting around and they're like, man, what if they get hurt? Or man, it should be uncomfortable for them.
Yeah, no.
This is a company when you ask for a flight change, they'll book you in a fucking middle seat just to prove a point.
Yeah.
Their pettiness is just limitless. So don't think that these people are saying did Charlotte worked with a ruptured implant for how long? Now, whether she wanted to or not is not the point. The company needed to step in and say, no, you're done right now. You got to get this taken care of.
Instead, 3 months go by. All right. So, interesting little chat there. Just on the Becky Lynch stuff. One more thing on that was JR says the roles are reversed a little bit in this Becky Lynch Charlotte Flair Says, both of them are main event level folks. It just seemed to me that based on the crowd reaction, which I still weigh heavily, like it's a marketing report, a focus group, they bought a ticket, which wasn't cheap. They came in, they parked, they did all that good stuff. I think maybe the roles are reversed a little bit. I think Charlotte has a great personality to be a heel. I think she would have a blast doing it, and they've shown you can be a TV villain and still do outside projects and sell merchandise and those things. So there's that negative that's been erased. Yeah, you got a point, I guess. I think they just fucked it up by not having her turn heel and win the title. Let the people cheer. They would have, but it would have been her moment as a heel that she turned on her, best friend instead of having to heel out afterwards. They missed the pinnacle of the business by, they never made it to the summit there. They only made it to base camp too. It just it didn't have any stakes afterwards of just her being pissed off. They fucked up, and now they're trying to do damage control with it, and I don't think they can.
I agree. I think, I agree with you that she should have. If you're going to turn, then you do everything you can to hurt the babyface or the former friend as much as possible.
Right.
So you beat her up, but you also, the effective heel turn where it actually benefits you to win the title, proving in your own mind as a heel, because the heels have to believe that they're right, and what they did was right. It worked. All the shit I was doing before didn't work. This worked. Now I'm the champion.
Yep.
Now it's like, well, it kind of half worked. Maybe it wasn't such a great idea. And she was begging off from her, even though she was coming at her when they did that fight where they blew up 20 seconds in on the pole part.
Yep.
She started begging off from her. And also, you couldn't see her face. You couldn't see any. She had a lot of tics and a lot of things where it felt like she was, you said it, Ben, she was concentrating so much on what to say, what to do and everything, and forgot to get her face on camera to tell the story.
Absolutely. Great analysis right there, all the way around. And
but why wouldn't they do the title change? It's just because there's no ESPN the body issue. There's no.
I think they talked
shit
themselves out of it. Unless it's something like that. But I think they talked themselves out because they wanted to do too much. Because the story would have been Charlotte getting retribution on Carmella finally after taking her title, slipping over. Charlotte's got to go. It's just not, stars aren't aligned. Here's the chance. And that's in their moment, would have been, if it was a singles, a good psychological payoff. But now you've got Becky Lynch in here, and the whole story is pivoted. That's a backdrop to the heel turn. And for real heat, it would have been leave Charlotte laying without the title, and Becky does what she needs to do to go over and be standing over her friend, kill the friendship for the belt to get to the heights I want to reach in this business, right? So they didn't do it, and that stage picture wasn't there, and Carmella losing wasn't the main story anymore, and it didn't even play out that way. It didn't have it there. So they paid off their little mini stories, but the great higher character arc wasn't there at all to build the heel the right way.
Agreed.
Okay. I'm glad. Thank you. Makes me feel good.
I just know we're going to be fed now I'm friends with Carmella, and now I'm friends with the heels instead of her just being bitter on her own and telling like a real story. Just because I hate this girl doesn't mean I like you anymore, or now I'm not friends with you. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
But we have to now you're a heel, so now you have to be friendly with the heel girls that you were fighting 2 weeks ago.
And then we're going to march everybody out at Evolution for a big curtain call and wave at the end of the night. Good night, everybody. We love you. Mwah. And fucking, right?
Right?
Yeah, right.
Unfortunately, I agree with that, too.
Cody Rhodes, final story. Cody Rhodes reveals how Bullet Club will handle the future when their ROH and New Japan contracts expire. Cody Rhodes participated in StarCast conference call earlier today to hype the upcoming StarCast weekend and all-in event. Sidebar, shout out to Vickery and Jargo. Our guys will be out there from the Monday locker room, so hit them up, you guys. I know there's a lot of Chicago heads going to be around. I'd love to see more pictures. I really like the ones I saw from Big Ray and Gooch and everybody, and all the guys getting together for SummerSlam and Bello. So definitely, if you guys are out there for StarCast, hunt down Hamin Media Group, Vickery and Jargo, and get some good time in. Have a couple drinks, man. StarCast Weekend All-In event, and during the call, Rhodes addressed the future of Bullet Club as their contracts are soon to expire. As far as what's next, I really wish I could answer, said Cody via Insider. A lot has happened in the last few weeks, a lot of discussions about the future. One thing that's special about this, and I have to be rather cagey in answering, one thing that's special about the group is that we have verbally committed to each other, and I don't know that that's ever been done in the history of professional wrestling, where I've verbally committed to the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, Hangman Page. There's this verbal commitment that the next step we take, because it's no secret, our contracts are all up, so what happens next? The next step we take, we're going to take it together, and we're going to take it as a family. It could be the dumbest move ever, wrestling is sort of a shady business, or we can do what my gut tells me and make the right call. Very interesting, man. That's a good answer of like, to cliffhanger. Will the Young Bucks show up in WWE, right? Will all of Bullet Club, not just the Young Bucks? Will they be able to negotiate with Vince and say, we'll go out there and smile and make him want to hug us if you bring us all in at the same time? Will they move Gallows and Anderson to Raw like I heard that the other day? And maybe even AJ as well, because they wanted to do Bullet Club with Baylor. And then all those guys show up. Now you've got a fucking right out of the gate, a 9-man crew, Wu-Tang level crew. That would be an interesting play, man. Also, based off that too, I heard that Vince wasn't happy that Hogan's been doing those NWO reunion fucking videos on his own. So would they tie those three in with Bullet Club all the way around, like have them be the godfathers of Bullet Club or whatever, you know? A lot of opportunity, and then it also could be nothing, and they all re-sign with Ring of Honor and fucking New Japan, and things continue on the way they do. What are you thinking, Stevie?
It's the continuing conundrum of, do you want to go there and try your luck and see if you can be either Gallows and Anderson, which haven't done really a goddamn thing since they've been there for the money they're getting paid, or it works out completely well for you like it did AJ. Is there really going to be in between? There's really not, because if you don't go as far as what you're doing, if you don't get the payoff, then you might as well consider it to be a failure, unless you're being paid for your misery, which essentially Gallows and Anderson, I think, have been. It's hard to say. We've said about the Bucks, they can do whatever they want, whenever they want, and they're still making more than enough of a living off it. I assume Cody is. I assume Omega. We already kind of fantasy booked WrestleMania with Omega. If he was going to be in the Rumble, what would happen? And this would have been the Bullet Club coming in at WrestleMania. It would have been a big deal. And they save that stuff for the Monday after, but why not have a big debut or a big shocker at WrestleMania? They haven't had one of those in a while.
Right.
Well, their deals are done, not long after All In?
Yeah, I think they might come up at certain times, but I don't think it's like an extended, 6 or 8 months or anything between them.
If it's something to where they can all debut or they sprinkle in kind of like the NWO did, I can see them having a real strong debut at Survivor Series in one of those tag matches and going over strong there, eliminating everybody in the tag match and just going to Royal Rumble, and try to have that gang warfare there where they all fucking prop up Kenny or somebody to win Royal Rumble. Now we're saying this within 2 or 3 minutes. These fuckers are there for hours and can't come up with.
And you could bring up Adam Cole's over enough now too. He just dropped the title. You could bring him up, right? I
think he's probably getting called up before that. I think he's going to get called up soon.
He could be the catalyst of that. He could be kind of lay the breadcrumb trail of doing little funny things on camera that are, like that, to fucking just small things and dropping small lines to pop the internet, to pop the fucking Bullet Club crowd. And he's the one who leaves the back door open for him to come in.
Yeah, but how many people are we talking about now?
That's something, dude. Strength in numbers, right? Like, you're going to start out, instead of building the NWO, you're going to start out with a full squad. Like, it's going to be 10, 11 guys.
Somehow I think in translation when it goes through, they're going to tell unless they're paying him a ton of money. But I can see Hunter wanting to get his hands on him and put him in NXT.
I could too. Yeah, I think that'd be a huge mistake.
And Cody's comments they're cryptic, but they tell me a lot from being there. That hey man, they didn't really do shit. Even though I argue with him about the Stardust character, I think that was super over.
Me too.
And he could have done a lot with that. He did it better than Dustin did, I believe, for this day and age.
Yeah.
But man, I think he's just so gun shy because he knows.
Yeah.
He knows they're giving me a ton of money. They can't possibly bury me. Well, they got a ton of money. They can bring people in just to bury them, just to not do anything with them.
Yeah, and of them going as a family, they've made a commitment to each other or what have you. That alone, letting that be known, they will try and pick somebody off to break that commitment just to fucking
it's a game.
test them.
Oh, yeah. That game is fun for them.
Yeah. Like that alone is like, oh, okay, all right. We'll turn this guy and this guy. Like, dude, that's what fans will never know, man. They might hear about it left or right, but that shit goes on every day there, and morning, noon, and night, and week by week, or in a short game, or even a long term. Remember when he did this? Well, fuck him here. That's the backside of this industry that only veterans and guys who've been, not that I've been there, but been in plenty of locker rooms, have seen it and know it because I've been around long enough and seen guys break from it, as Stevie has as well, guys who can't handle that. And then guys who just, that's how they survive for some reason in this business. That's how they have to live to be doing that kind of shit, which is not the way we try and run our stuff, but it does go on, and that's what you're going to learn about on the Friday Veteran Locker Room.
Let me just add something real quick. Like, for people that are saying, well, they should just learn to deal with it. They should do this and do that. And that's kind of, and people were asking about conspiracies because they thought we were getting into it. I'll get into one right now. We have a system, and this is a product of the system, where you're supposed to be miserable at what you do, and you're supposed to endure, and you're supposed to work really, really hard, really long hours, and sacrifice a ton to get any kind of fulfillment out of your life. And that is not supposed to be the case. It keeps you from what's really important. And WWE keeps them busy and grinding and injured and all this stuff, so they don't have time to actually, like we talked about before, all to get together and really think, if we were together and we unionized or something like that, or if we were not put up to take up with or if we didn't want to put up with all this shit, we don't have to. Instead, they're running so much, they don't have any time to think about anything but their own business.
No, you're absolutely right, man, and just keep us pitted against us so you don't turn on the masters at the end of the day. But we definitely we could use a union to just square things out. So when people are abused by that, that you don't have to be out there in the wind alone. I think people in the industry would flock to it, but I worry it become a money grab work as well. So.
Somebody like Papadon would do a backdoor deal and get himself more over. I have no doubt. No offense. Mm-hmm. With all due respect.
But they would also give us some leverage against commissions and things like that in states that are out of fucking control. Absolutely, with Power Trip that way. So they're just beyond of WWE heat or anything. There is a reason to have that for the benefit and for things like how did Daniel Bryan's CTE get healed? How can we get other guys on that program? So, pretty interesting concept. We'll see if any of that actually does get pushed forward. Somebody could be a new hero in a Labor Party leadership like that for, I'm not saying I'm not nominating him right now, but I might nominate Stevie as, one of the first chairs of that. So.
Thank you.
Anybody out there want to second it?
I want to see Jesse run for president and then call for an investigation of the employee to independent contractor debate.
Yeah.
Because he said, he won't do it personally, but if something affected a senator's kid or something, they'd be fucked. big time.
Yeah, absolutely. I would. They would for sure. Yeah, but you won't be today, infidels, because you've been here with the veterans in the locker room, hearing all the things maybe you shouldn't have heard. We went a little too deep today. We even had to kayfabe live on air, so we'll we'll lay out the Stooge report when you guys are out of here. You marks, you shouldn't be out there without having breaking down all the chairs, all the rings, making sure all the guardrails. Go ahead, sweep the floor. Somebody spilled their chew cup in a bottle of orange soda and that shit. I'm not paying for any cleanup on that. So get out there, Bello, get out there, get the mop. Schaffer, you got some cleanup to do before we head out of this one. We don't live here. We got to get out of here. Stevie, tell them where they can find you. What's going on?
Oh, we got the 12-week resistance band training program at StevieRichardsFitness.com. I want to thank everybody at the Hamin Media Group and Army for investing in the program, and we actually got some sales while we were recording. That's awesome. Yeah. Just a reminder, the resistance bands, the Dynapro Direct resistance bands have a lifetime warranty, so it's pretty great value. The door anchor as well has a lifetime warranty, and actually everything from Dynapro has that lifetime warranty. So check it out. Go to StevieRichardsFitness.com. Follow me on Instagram at Stevie Richards. Twitter at BWOStevie. Also subscribe to the YouTube channel where I put up fitness stuff and also some audio to video type podcast for your platform. Ben, I might record something today as well.
Awesome.
Talking about vanity metrics and what's really important if you're running an online business. And also you can go to ProWrestlingTees.com/Stevie Richards.
And also, just getting off the ground now, they do Church of Stevie Christ, which we had our first donation too. So
okay.
we got the roof fund going. We're gonna get a new roof.
I really do need
place.
a roof fund right now for the fucking flooding in the mold.
Yeah. Give me. Let's get this fun going. Yeah, I'm going to Saudi. But let's get naughty in Saudi. Yeah, all right. But you guys, you got enough today. We appreciate you tuning in all week long. Conspiracy Horsemen, I'm editing. Hopefully it'll be up by Friday. If not later tonight, just not enough hours in the day because it's my goddamn birthday, infidels. So the best thing you can do to support the brand is ProWrestlingTees.com/Ben Hamin. You want a couple laughs, go to Hacker Hamin on Instagram. Follow me there. There's plenty of $5 face slaps. Go over to at Steve the Shoe Man on Instagram. My guy there, he just put up new boots that he made. Just probably the best in the world, I think, at this point from Australia. Greatest turnaround. If you want boots, specific shoes, he does everything from comics to clown shoes. He can make anything for you. And we're going to do more of the gauntlet giveaway. I got some more pairs to give away that way. So follow at Steve the Shoe Man just to see some awesome work for wrestling gear. Definitely an innovator of what he's doing. And I want to send more people his way, and he'll cut you a deal. If you want something, tell him I sent you. So we got to get out of here, though, infidels. The wives are calling. I got my phone's blowing up. I got all these messages to answer, popping on. Keep sending all these links. Got to catch up on the day, infidels. But it's your Friday locker room with Hacker Hamin and Big Stevie Cool, infidels. YOLO.